My life is this company. I see where it's going. There are signs of real trouble.
Genius is 1% inspiration, 99% presentation.
That's not how the saying goes.
What is going on, everybody? Thank you for checking out this video. My name is Chris, and welcome to my review for the Beanie Bubble. So real quick before we get started, I want to share with you some of my Beanie Babies and my Beanie Baby card collection that I had collected back in the late 90s. This is my binder that I had put them in right here. As you can see, it's not a whole lot of cards, but see, it's a pretty cool little collection, I think. I got some of the hologram ones. Let's see, right there, like Grunt and Snort, which I have it over here. I got Baldy also. But yeah, and then there's a certain Beanie Baby that's like the star of this movie. Spooky the Ghost. And here it is right here. I got the card for him right there. See? So, yeah. That's my card collection. And here is my some of my teeny beanies. I started off with it. These are the bears. This is Millennium right here. See that right there? There's Millennium. I got Spangle. See right there? Let's see, I got Osito right there. And I've got Germania. Alright. That's it for the teeny beanies that I have right now. Now here is Snort right there. See, ain't he cute? Here is Chocolate right there. Here's Baldy right there. Here is Barney the dog. Weekend at Bernie's, right? Here is Gobbles right there. Gobbles the turkey. And here we have Millennium. That's right there. And here's my Osito bear. Yeah, I used to love these bears when I was little, you know. I thought they were just the cutest thing, man. Cutest little faces. But yeah, that's just a little bit of my collection that I have. So as for the movie, The Beanie Bubble stars Zack Galifanakis, along with a pretty solid cast. Elizabeth Banks, Geraldine Viswanathan, and Sarah Snook. Galifanakis plays Ty Warner, who is the founder of the Beanie Babies, who pretty much starts this company, who pretty much invented the Beanie Babies, and hires Robbie, played by Elizabeth Banks, as a co-founder. Who pretty much helps him get the company started. And then over the years, over the next like 10 or 12 years, well into the mid-90s, he hires a college student, Maya, played by Geraldine Viswanathan, to be his designer, and pretty much the backbone of the company, as well as beginning a romance with a mother, Sheila, played by Sarah Snook, who has 2 daughters. And then over the years, he kind of becomes a narcissist and begins to slowly cut out the people that were responsible for helping him build this empire and bring in so much money, and really eventually leading to the downfall of Ty. So with the Beanie Bubble, really wasn't all that excited for it. This wasn't a movie that I was really anticipating, mainly due to the fact that I'm not the biggest fan of biopics. I'll be honest with you. I haven't watched Air. I haven't watched Flamin' Hot. I haven't watched Blackberry or Tetris or even Barbie yet. And I've got to check that out as well for sure. But with the cast that this movie has, I thought I would check it out. And honestly, after seeing it, I actually enjoyed it. But the way they decided to tell the story is kind of disappointing and confusing and really frustrating. But let me get to the positives first. So as far as performances go, I mean, Zack Galifanakis does a really great job as Ty Warner. I'm not exactly sure what he was like, because I was never familiar with his background. I just know about the whole Beanie Babies, and getting caught getting caught up in the Beanie Baby craze back in the late 90s, and, going to McDonald's and getting the teeny beanies, the Happy Meals, and then going to the flea market and buying Beanie Babies from these sellers and everything. Like I said, then I was like 11 or 12 years old, so, it was a crazy time with the Beanie Babies and also Pokemon. But yeah, and then I think the biggest standout performance for me, and aside from Zack Galifanakis and Elizabeth Banks, by the way, who's actually also really good, for me, I really love Geraldine Viswanathan. I thought she pretty much carried a lot of this movie. Besides Zack Galifanakis, she was like the backbone of this company, as I said before, and she's the reason that they brought in so much money. And I think toward like the third act, the way she was getting treated was pretty shitty. And some of the things that Ty Warner was doing, I didn't like. Now, I do have one mixed thing, and that is the movie is just not, the movie is labeled as a comedy, which I didn't think it was all that funny. There were some funny moments. Zack Galifanakis had some funny moments here and there, and Geraldine Viswanathan. The entire cast had their little time to shine, but it just didn't have the humor. Not that it needed to be, overly comedic, but I know it's supposed to be a serious biopic, but maybe there should have been in some humor. But that's how I was looking at it. I was looking at it as more of a serious drama, with some humor sprinkled here and there. I just expected it to be a little bit more funnier with the cast that it has. Now going to my negatives, and I have really two negatives. Number one, I didn't like the way he was treating his coworkers. I didn't like the narcissism that Ty Warner was, expressing. Taking these people that were really responsible for bringing in all this money and slowly cutting them out and pretty much fucking them over. And I didn't like that. But my biggest negative for this movie, and it really just frustrated me because I saw this in something else that I had watched earlier this year, is the fact that in order to tell its story, it does repetitive time jumping, where it just jumps from one period to another and then back again, one year to another, from the early 80s to the early 90s, back to the early 80s, back to the early 90s, and then back again, and then back and forth for over an hour. And this movie is almost 2 hours long, and it really gets to the point where it's just really annoying, and it kind of leaves you, if you're not careful, you're not paying attention, to where it's just confusing and makes you get lost in how they're telling the story. And I saw this, like I said, in the Fatal Attraction TV series, and the way they were telling the story just got really old and got really frustrating over the course of 8 episodes, and each one being almost an hour long. And so 8 hours of them jumping from before his trial and after his trial, but before his trial and after his trial, it gets really annoying and gets really frustrating. And that's one thing. I don't think I've ever complained about anything more than that. Because every time it happened in this movie, I just kept going, oh, will you please stop? Ugh. I sound like Cody Leach, when he gets frustrated about something. And I totally understand that. And I know how he feels now, when something just aggravates you to no end. But that's just my thoughts on the Beanie Bubble. Like I said, I actually did enjoy this. Great performances from Galifanakis, especially Geraldine Viswanathan. It's just not as funny as I was hoping it would be, and the whole time jumping thing and how it tells its story is really annoying. But overall, it's a fun watch. It's entertaining, and it's their performances that make it worth watching. And it gives me a bit of a nostalgic feel to it as well. That's just my thoughts on the Beanie Bubble. If you like what you see here, hit that subscribe button. Don't forget to comment down below what you think of it. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Anyway, I love you guys. You guys are the best, and I will see you in the next one.